Let me grab my water, make sure we're good, and I think we'll be here.
Crypto PJR, sound check. How are you? Volume check, Crypto PJR, volume check.
Check 2. Can you hear me?
Oh, we got you loud and clear up there. We probably got the, maybe the solar rays, the solar flares out of the way. We got you loud and clear. We're going to start here in a minute or so. Got IM6 coming on up as a co-host. Feel free to pin anything up. I did get the DM you sent me. And we're going to get some voids going on here in DGen land. If you want to hop into the Imaverse, the Ima DGen Discord, you can hop in there. You can hop in there actually live and start talking with us. I'm going to get Decentraland going. I clicked a couple new buttons here, and I think I found a way where I can not make a copy of a copy. So I think I'm actually saving some computer bandwidth here. We'll find out if it actually is working, because a lot of this is some live action that is going on as we are trying to figure out what's going on in this Web3 world. We have lots of stuff to talk about this evening. We will be walking through another on cyberspace. We will be also looking at a Decentraland grant proposal system. We have Doc 420 back on it with some more. Oh, he's got a new void that we'll be talking about with the mayor as well. So we'll see how those attributes will be talking. Looks like we have got imperialized there. And sorry, I'm at 99% on Decentraland. I want to try to get a proper intro to our theme music, which was created by IM6, who is up there as well. Sorry, I'm just going to start driving my Crypto Novo head to the second floor in the Novoverse, which is in the Decentraland. It's plot 2369. 2369, and yes, it's working. Thank you, Beskar. We figured out something that's going to save a lot of computer space.
Nice.
That works. And this is going to be able to open up capabilities of actually me being in Decentraland and also in VR in a future episode coming to you soon. Hash Wizard, welcome, Hash Wizard. We're about to get started here. I'm going to start playing a song, and I haven't even heard this all the way through. From Six. He is co-hosting now on Spaces, and kind of how all this is set up here, if you're listening for the first time, is you can watch all of this live. It's on Paris Hilton NFT. That's right, Paris Hilton is streaming this live in the Novoverse, so you can watch all this live action. I'm going to pin that up to the top here. I'm going to retweet it as well, so you can get your spaces with live video. That's right, live video. I got to share it right there to the top of the DGen Den. All right, I think I've clicked enough buttons. About 2 or 3 minutes in. Welcome all my aliens, apes, and zombies. We are here on this welcoming Wednesday. Yes, and without further ado, we're premiering a brand new song right now, and it is the Novoverse.
23, 69. 69. We are in the Novoverse. Novoverse. We are in the Novoverse. Novoverse. We in the Novoverse. In the Novoverse. We in the Novoverse. In the Novoverse. It's lit in the Novoverse. In the Novoverse. NFTs in the Novoverse. The Novoverse. We are in the Novoverse. Novoverse. We are in the Novoverse. Novoverse.
Welcome all aliens, apes, and zombies. That's right. We got a wonderful show tonight. We got some live action stuff coming on from the I'm a DJ Discord. We got Crypto PJR here as co-hosting on our video spaces, which is being streamed right now. I am Six. Thank you very much for making that awesome cut right there. That is the Novoverse. I think that's just going to be the theme song right there. 2369 in Decentraland. You can come visit me here, all of us here right now, and watch this, listen to this all live and direct. And with that, we can listen and have our favorite alien friend here, Crypto PJR. How have we been, my friend?
Greetings. A lot of happenings out there. A lot of happenings. We have to watch the skies, and this paradigm shifts every day. What's going on? I'd like to be here, and once again, wonderful.
Yes, we have another wonderful panel up for us here today. As you can see, I'm clicking between Decentraland and also the Discord that we are also plugged in on. You can see my AR filter down there. And in that Discord, we are going to be going through some live action stuff. With that, it is have a lot of voids here. And with that, something I'm going to play right now is another premiere. We did the... let's see, on Monday, we had it come out for a little bit, and we were able to listen to the Void soundtrack that I Am Six created. And since we're on there and we have musical guests, just like you would see in any highlighted show, Saturday Night Live, et cetera, we're going to play another song here and kind of get the voids going in here, because we're going to transition into, where we are with the voids on the different attribute classes coming up here in a second here, Crypto PJR. But here it is, I Am Six. I think he's just making like theme musics for people. So if you need your music themed out and to get your NFT project maybe a little bumping in the cars, we can do all of that. So this next song right here, I'm going to pull it up in video if I can. And I'm sorry if my friends in the DGen room can't see any of this video right now. I'll try to share my screen in Discord as well. But this would be... I'm going to rewind it here.
Not your average NFT, ain't just a PFP. I'm a VOID. VOID, metaverse ready, 3D. Not your average NFT, ain't just a PFP. I'm a VOID. VOID, metaverse ready, 3D. I'm a void, that's a DGen visitor. Yeah. This the real thing, this ain't no derivative. Yeah. Who the hottest out? Yes, us, no trivia. Boy. This a one-on-one, an individual. He said you bought that NFT, I said show you right. Yeah. Social media integration and commercial rights. I'm talking 3D avatar life. I'm in the metaverse all night. Hopping in and out of spaces, I've been networking. Discord, Twitch, Web3, I stay working. We super early and we making noise. Don't it feel good just to be a void? Not your average NFT, ain't just a PFP. I'm a VOID. VOID. Metaverse ready. 3D. Not your average NFT, ain't just a PFP. I'm a VOID. VOID. Metaverse ready. 3D. Not your average NFT, ain't just a PFP. I'm a VOID. VOID, metaverse ready, 3D. Not your average NFT, ain't just a PFP. I'm a VOID. VOID, metaverse ready, 3D.
Man, that's what it's about right there. That's some fire stuff. You can hear it live and direct. That's I Am Six, or Six right there. And what better way to intro the voids than that, man? Woo, that's a song and a half. The only thing I wish I could bump that louder. I'm going to have to get some better speakers. Might have to wake up the kid upstairs to some of that thumping up there. Yeah, man, he's bringing that. I don't even know if I'm supposed to be releasing it, but I hear it, and I'm trying to bring that up as soon as I can bring it.
Look, I had it. Look, I was flying. You seen me. Look, I was in my zone. That's normally what I do. The music, like, that was nice. That was sick.
One of the things that makes this community great, though, man, all the creators and not just video. You've got creators that are into music. You've got creators that are into actually creating scenes. It's amazing.
And he, he tunes in. He's tuning in all the time. He's here.
Yep.
He's putting the fire signs up. He's an active member of the community. Yeah, he is here. And I love it. And I'm just gonna toss him up some love right there. Crypto PGR.
He's an artist too.
Crypto
Oh, my
PJR.
bad, my
What do you
bad.
think? What do you think of that tune, man?
I'm just sitting back, chilling on summer nights in my UFO, looking over the Plutonian girls, and just trying to get my and everything else that goes along with that.
And that's what we are. We got to fly around and take care of our friends in the space. That's Crypto PGR, cryptopgr.eth. And then we have 6 right here. And that's right. Artist extraordinaire, not only in the musical sense, but, just bringing it. And that's the creativity we're seeing with people, being attached to it. And where we got the marquee up there with I'm a DGens. And we actually have a new look to Doc so Doc, what are we sporting here? You got a different look to yourself.
Well, after last week's show, I seen one of the 2 Imperial clothing voids sell off of the floor, and I got to thinking, if I don't jump soon, I'm going to miss my chance at a decent floor piece. And this guy just happened to pop up right as I was ready to buy, so I snagged myself an Imperial cloth void.
Woo!
Smart.
And I love the background that you have on it. Very, if you're a void, you can pretty much hop in the UFO just like Crypto PGR does, and bam, you're off to another location. It's almost like you can pick the location to fit your outfit if you want to, rather than have your outfit pick based on the location you're at.
Yeah, it's so sick, man. Once again, the possibilities are endless. If you can imagine it, it can be done. And especially nowadays, like, we literally are witnessing the future right now.
So, another thing, going back to the designer of these voids, putting in the detail, and I'm not sure, maybe you have to pop up in the big screen, but there is a bubble. Yeah, stay just like there is a bubble. Look down, like, so there, some of the attributes that might cover the mouth. Forward thinking from the designer to actually have it transparent, see through, so you can actually talk.
Shout out 0x Holiday.
That's right, Holiday.
He's a real one.
And forward thinking on that, because what better way to actually go through the process than when you're making when people make their NFT projects, if it's 5,000, 10,000 unit projects, a huge part of that is making sure the attribute classes don't overlap. Well, the attribute classes do overlap if you have something else, if it's pizza, bubble gum, a vape, a pipe, hookah, whatever it may be. Well, those attributes, how does that look when you bring them fully rigged 3D modeled? Well, he thought of that. Like, well, instead of having this big bubble gum in your face so you can't talk and have the tracking on it, now in turn, bang, you make it transparent. Almost pop the bubble in a sense.
Yeah, absolutely. All while maintaining the legitimacy of the IP that you own, which once again is another beautiful aspect of what we have with Void. Owning our IP. There's very few projects still to date that are offering IP ownership to their holders.
That's right. And it's tough because, they want to have their hands in the mix, but why not give the IP to the people? Very similar to what we're doing now, where we can create ourselves a name for ourselves. And right now you guys are doing it. Do we want to talk about attribute classes this week? Do we want to talk about flow of the market? What are your thoughts here?
We have a couple attributes. Well, a single attribute we're going to touch on tonight, and then just bounce around within that attribute with some of the other sub attributes off of it. As far as the market goes, everything's kind of taken a hit this past week, even worse than it was. So we're not watching prices. We're just, looking to display what we can do, especially from our creative side, because that's what sets us apart.
That's right. Sorry, I'm taking a selfie right now so we can post it. You can check us out on Twitter. Make sure you're following all the proper people. We are also in Decentraland 2369, just as we heard in I Am Six's song for the intro here today. So you can hop on in there. And, the market has been slow, but I think a lot of that, and I think we're going to see a turn here. And there again, none of this is ever financial advice. You're listening to someone with a tassel hat and clown nose. There's a slowdown with the merge that's happening right now. So, a lot of people, of the uncertainty of what to do. So, you see volume down, this and that. A lot of people, I would say 2 weeks ago, through the uncertainty, you'd hear a lot of FUD sentiment. But actually, what I've actually seen personally in my accounts is actually the opposite. I've seen a lot more good mornings, a lot more high-spirited people, and a lot more people actually like looking forward to what's next, what's going to be happening after the merge, because they want to be able to expand on what they're doing. So, there's a lot of projects that are on hold. I know there's a lot of projects that want to be first on after the merge. I know there's a lot of...
What's the merge?
So the merge
is that a new collection dropping or something?
That's right. It's a band.
I'm smoking on the merge right now.
He's hitting the merge right now.
Doc's merging with his dab pen hard right now.
Now I got the mic on, so I'll turn that off.
I'm in Doge over here.
The Doge is merging it right now. He's got the intergalactic green stuff going with the what do you got?
Cold
fusion
2.6.
Is that cold fusion you got going on in there?
It is. It's cold. It's real cold.
That's the same. That's the same technology that Crypto PJR has. That's the same technology Crypto PJR has.
Bro.
So you can recycle the technology. That's how the UFOs get around nowadays.
I gotta say, Dr. Doge has spent like the last week building this new world in Neos, and it's blowing my mind, dude. He's got like a whole settlement set up. And it's off the chain, man.
You haven't even seen it. I'm gonna bring something in. I got something special for y'all, dude.
I need to come.
We saw you last week. You had in like Minecraft world, like straight up Minecraft world.
Yes.
We saw multiple things. Actually, this might be a great segment to my portion here. Is in Decentraland, there's actually grant requests that you can get. Let me see. I'm gonna try something here. Give me a second as I'm transitioning, because I'm gonna try to get Voids to see my screen if that's possible. I don't know.
Oh, that thing tried to eat me. I thought I taught you a lesson last time, Dragon. All right. Trying to eat me. So I got the win Lambos for.
My guy's got Stonehenge over here.
So
y'all see that too, right?
So in Decentraland, you can write grants. And one thing I was thinking here is Dr. Doge is like within these grants and these grant proposals, you can write them for different tiers. And it could just be like $500 to $1,500, $3,000 is tier 2, and you can go all the way up to $250,000. But within them, like thinking about like starting small and low with it is writing how we can possibly merge the Novoverse into your platform, so you can have it cross-platform. Other proposals that I did see is here is a tier 2 proposal for $3,000 US in mana, and this was to go into an event in Denver, and pretty much the goal was to be there IRL event full of degen crypto loving peeps to create idea roles and just network. And if you scroll down and actually look at the budget breakdown on this, his budget breakdown is $2,000 for food and drinks. That will be, given to people at the event, and then $1,000 working on merch giving away at the event. So you pretty much got like three G's to go to an IRL event and buy people booze and give away merch. I'm dumbing it down. Like he did his due diligence. There's some more behind it. He's doing proper work in the space. But the thing of it is it passed. And it had 77 yes votes, 2 no votes. And, people criticized him in the bottom. There's for real comments. But, we should just sit down. I know Meow Meow, she wrote a couple grants back in the day to try to help people that were incarcerated for maybe things that were not so serious, to try to help them out. So we can
she's great at that kind of stuff.
We can use this type of technology to see how we can maybe onboard people to build using VR in Decentraland, but then also pull it in to your platform, which it might be easier to sculpt and mold before you bring the rendered files into Decentraland.
And then you bring up a good point, because I was kind of thinking about it as well earlier, whatever, about different things like that, right? I mean, you can kind of see it now that it's here, kind of pretty much figured out the inner workings of this. I mean, like I said, we'll sit down and have like you just said, that makes a very valid point. And it's kind of like that bringing together of the two, right? You could essentially, in all essence, and I'll make it quick, but let's say you had the world here, right? That was a same matching world of the one that was in Decentraland, right? Your coordinates, everything that you go to your plot, that's there. You could have that. You could then have, let's say, a live screen of what's going on within here in VR Neos, and right below that actually have either multiples QR code. You can have an external link that goes out, and then you can actually click that link from inside the world that's modeled after the Decentraland world.
Get it.
And pop into on your, there straight into that Decentraland coordinates.
You get
on
it.
your thing like that.
So Dr. Doge, that's the thing, is the making this back to cross-platform again. Now the Novoverse is being streamed in Neos.
Yes.
And here's the whole thing with it, my friend. People that don't have connectivity to Web3, they don't have a wallet, can't get into Decentraland, right? So now they can enter in VR from anywhere they want to. And they can get an enhanced experience wherever they want to. The same experience, possibly even better than what they're actually visualizing in Decentraland. So we're making a digital doppelganger Web 2 version that they can pull into AR.
Well, and the beauty of that is Neos, you can operate from a web browser. You don't even have to have a VR headset.
That's a whole nother platform. You got it. So now we are true Web 2.0. All right, that's my live business meeting. That's live business meeting with Crypto, Novo, and Decentraland 2369, 2369. And we're going to move on to our next segment, and that is actually back to Dr. Doge here, and it's AMA or whatever you want to talk about. You can show off whatever you want. We can ask you questions.
Definitely.
The stage, I guess, is yours. So you need a couple minutes to set anything up, but like I was saying, the stage is yours because you actually have a Pixar stage behind you.
Yeah. I'm gonna switch here. I'm gonna switch up an avatar real quick. I'm gonna go back to it. Let me see here, so y'all can actually see me talking. Y'all know what the gas mask look like, so I'm not gonna. I'll let the face stay. Would it make it easier if should I pop onto the restream for this one, or is should this
You know what? I got you perfect. I got you perfect right now. So you're good.
Okay, perfect. So cool. So yeah, like I said, man, anybody's on the chats with any kind of questions y'all may have about that, feel free. I'm gonna go around and just show y'all pretty much what's set up here. I'll run through maybe how quick it is to bring in an avatar or something like that too. Just as simple as a model. So yeah, if anybody out there has any questions, feel free to shoot and ask. Cause I'm here. It's Dr. Doge. We're live in VR.
I love it.
Yes,
I love
indeed.
It. All right. So one question: how long have you been in How long have you been in VR?
VR. So deep diving in, I'd say probably a good year and a half almost now.
How many hours you got logged into Neos?
Neos probably close to almost 400 and something now, like Neos alone. VR chat, I've got close to I don't know, maybe 1,000 or so in there. I don't know how many Insomnium. A lot of the early days when I very first got into it, wasn't even, I guess, what you would consider like metaverses like this, right? Like it was doing brush, bro, fucking painting. Y'all seen the early derivatives of like that stuff, like that, like that, just kind of getting the inner workings of what could be done here. And I screenshot from a while back, like speaking of Decentraland, where I was actually inside of my the Oculus home with Decentraland and a virtual keyboard up, like roaming around Decentraland like that the first time in VR, right? Like way primitive to what it is here now. But yeah, I mean, it's been kind of, before that, the most experience I'd had with VR was literally I had like the Samsung S9
Sure.
back in 2016 and shit, and it came with that little headset. And it was like that, yeah. Like,
Temperature check, because like I kind of seeing like the flow, the ebb and flow of it, and like I like to use my own metrics for like streaming to see like how the market's been going. Have you seen like an uptick in VR like when you first started around the holiday time, downtick? Like what has the flow been like, and then like what is the flow like right now currently?
So 100%. Like when I very first started doing this, I mean, even just in this, there were not too many people that were. I mean, there's in the handle, the scope of things in the VR realm. I mean, Digital Asset. He's kind of been around. He can tell you there was a very small percentage over the last year, right? Just year and even 6 months alone. There's been a huge uptick in the amount of people coming in, wanting to know about VR, wanting to learn how this is, right? And like not even the basic stuff. We're not talking Horizon Worlds, right? Like there are people, I mean, Doc over here, Mayor.
Yeah, I wouldn't be here if it weren't for Void.
Like there's like they're jumping into like the advanced stuff, right? Like there's not a lot of people. So it's going from people like literally having no knowledge of VR at all to coming straight into like stuff like you're seeing me doing right now, right?
Dr. Doge, that was me. That was honestly me, when we brought the Voids into, well, I didn't really bring anything to anything. I just sat there and put a VR headset on and just was freaking amazed by it and learned from it. But like, I was one of those people, and I was one of those active participants that didn't really have any tech background at all, besides like, hey, try this cool thing on, from someone who was woven into the tech industry. And now here it is where I have pretty much a computer next to me that can send someone to the Mars or the moon and back, and the next phase, and that is the next reality. We have the AR filters here, plug ourselves avatar x.xyz to get the filters, but like the next phase is to get the body rigging going, to get that interaction going. Then also, like you're saying, it crosses the 3 or 4 phases that you want to, as far as, you can be on your computer. You can obviously be with a headset on, AR headset on. And then, you can do a blend of both.
It really is. Like, it's a true blend of everything. Like, I mean, you see me here. I'm right here inside of Neo. You see me coming through you live. But I'm literally speaking now from right here on my desktop. There you go. You should be able to see it now. Here we go. Like you see it. Like I'm blended within my own desktop. The physical world meets the digital world. Like I'm letting all of you speaking here, having a conversation.
So I've seen this before. Can you go back to that screen? I've seen this before. Let's break down the screen for someone at home. All right. Okay. So left side. Definitely. This is like a pretty much computer screen you're looking at with Discord. But he's in VR, so this is actually what he is seeing in VR right now. And on the bottom, what he's moving around is
my camera control tablet. Yep.
So that's like the world he's living in.
Yep.
So like if you wanted a Minecraft world, that's like building Minecraft would be built in there. If you were going in a street simulator, that would be in there. If you wanted to change your clothing, that would be in there. So the normal computer general layout is right in front of him, and that's the screen. So then now he knows how to interact on Discord and actually talk with us. And then up here is his template. So this has all of his, is that all the Voids up in there?
This is actually just different buildings in here. I do have my Voids in here, like different ones that I've brought in.
So those are
different files for different ones. Yep. So like just as simply, if I wanted to click on something, You know what? We'll do this here. Let me find this right here. We'll make it interesting right quick. Where's it at? There we go. All right, so now I can just take that. I click on it one time. You should be able to still see that. There we go. 3D model, regular avatar. Bring this in. Import externals. And then within a matter of seconds, I now have a nice fancy dancy
Got the kicks going.
Nike. Yep, just like that. Like I'm simple. It's very, very simple to be able to do this kind of stuff here. And that's that's one of the main reasons why I love it. I guess
Now,
you'd say so much.
You brought that object in. Can you actually make that wearable?
You can actually pop out the dev menu. That's a little bit more work, but like there is a whole set of tools, and I'll give you kind of a basic rundown of how that would work. So I would go here. This is kind of all my stuff that I have set up in here, like just avatar things that I've had already. Things. I would go to Essential Tools, Dev Tool. I would just grab this, pop it open. Now let me move this over here. It gives me a list of pretty much essentially everything in this world, right? Now, if I wanted to, let me just do this, see if I can get a good model here. My controller's kind of going wrong. Let me drop this. There we go. I will pull out, let's see, pull out this guy right here. I'm gonna just pull out Dr. Doge. Where's he at?
That's what
There
she
we go.
said.
Get him. All right, let me see here. There we go. We'll just leave it right there just because, see if this works. Now, I could take inside of here and I'll just go back so you can see this. You can still see the menu from what I'm looking at. Now, there we go. I could take this, just search for whichever one that was there that I just had. Up at the top, I do believe.
All right,
This seems really intimidating. The first time you
It
watch
does.
Dr. Doge, like you're just like, okay, bro, you're just a wizard. Like this is too much for me. But you know, he's hopped into sessions with me, showed me like click this, and the UI is amazing with what it's capable of. And once you learn how to use it, it's not that bad. It is really amazing.
It's really not. Like, yeah, it's pretty simple. When I'm sitting here, you're watching me do it and make sure this is the right one. Oh shit, no, that's that guy over there. Yeah, see, like you can select everything. It doesn't matter. You can select it. It goes through. That's not. There we go. This is the right one. All right, perfect. So I have him selected. I have the shoe selected. What I would do is I would just drag this guy here. Nike, what is that? Left foot? Yeah, that's his left foot. No, wrong one. Center root armature. Hips. Left leg. Left knee. Ankle. All right, left toe. Drop this. Now, it should go under there. Now we got left toe. And now you should be able to see it down there. That's there. Now I could set the position. So far, it's been a minute since I've done this and I haven't actually done it. But yeah, it's 100% possible. Just so I know it's getting whatever time-wise. But you just essentially would parent it. Yeah, like you would parent it different than you would in Blender or Unity. Just like I did right here. Just dragged it and parented it to that right there. And then so, let me see. It's grabbable still, but yeah, parent to. There we go. Position, parent under, parent, there we go, left toe. Now I probably should have been to the ankle. But yeah, that's pretty much how it works. Go through and it would go, like, I don't know when that's, because this thing's animated and I tried to parent while it's animated. But yeah, clothing, like all that, you can see here, this is one that's a little bit like this, what you call it here. The Meta Beanie hoodie, yeah.
It's so mind blowing to me. Like all these assets and stuff. Like once you get into Neos, like any 3D model file you have, I mean, within reason, you can import it into Neos, and then you save it to your inventory, and then like you're just hanging out with your friends, you can bust it out whenever you want. And like I was having trouble in one of my worlds, and I just messaged Dr. Doge, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you need like this dev tool," and I'm like, "I can't find it." So he just like spawns in, walks up to me, whips out the dev tool, hands it to me, and I just save it to my inventory, and I'm like, you know, I'm good to go. And it's so crazy how it feels like IRL almost with like file sharing, where like it's oh, upload this to your Google Drive and then send it to me. You can just like literally meet in the metaverse, like hand to hand somebody, like I could hand them like these Thug Life glasses or whatever. I could just hand it to them, and then they have it, and they save it, and they have it. It's crazy.
It really is mind blowing once you get in there and play around. I remember the first night we were in there, Georgie brought in a shifter cart and was driving around in the room or in the world in a shifter. And it just, I mean, it blew my mind. The first time I actually sat down in the cart, used, and then you're looking around, like you're in your headset. You see your void arms if you lift your arm up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just, it's amazing to actually become your avatar.
The first time you spawn in and you get your avatar set up and you jump into your avatar, like the first thing you do is everybody holds their hands up in front of their face and they're like, whoa, man, I got alien hands, man.
I must have spent 30 minutes looking at the tattoos because I had an honorary and it was all up.
Yeah.
I was honestly looking at my arms for like 20 minutes.
Does that honor props on getting most voids ever made, man? But do you have, is it all the default tats, or does that void have different tats?
The tats that were on there were the ones that were presented through the Discord. Add your own tat. I forgot what that contest was.
Oh, really?
So all the stuff on there.
That's even cooler.
It's all people's like personal stuff. Like it was really cool. Like, and yeah,
I'm
like,
super jealous of all the honorary voids.
And people got to like put
and
them.
It's in, and that he made sure you got the model file for it. Like, did he send it to you in Discord?
We worked on it together when we launched well, pretty much it was just like, hey, I think we can bring this into Somnium Space. He's like, yeah, that's the point. I'm like, well, we want to do it, you know. It's just like, well, cool.
Right.
And they're like, well, can we have the files for it? And he's just like, well, they're there. And we're like, awesome. And then like we did it with like I had a fishbowl and Ed, and then I brought him in there, and then he's just like, then I think Justin Aversano had an honorary. Like,
I remember when you did the the first Somnium, like you guys all met in Somnium and somebody had a fishbowl. I remember that. That was very early on.
That was me because it was Holiday that I think had the honorary ink tattoo on him. And then after live stream, he made one for me. That was red skinned, and I think he changed the ink on it, but then the file he sent me was the honorary skin. And actually, the computer that I just actually picked up from Bescar's house is where that thing lived for all those years. So on that computer, he's like, yeah, it's on there, so it's in here somewhere.
Historical.
I had to figure it out. So Dr. Doge, we're gonna have a play date, and you're gonna screen share, and you're gonna find out where that file is on here. Bescar knows.
I got you.
Bescar knows.
I got you.
Crypto PGR, I know that their intergalactic network gas lines might need to fuel up. So if you need to bounce at any time, cool, I get it. But if you want to hang out for the show, I'm going to hop into On Cyber here in a second, another digital playground, another digital platform. If you need to get to an On Cyber, there's a couple of them that are pretty cool. You can go to my link tree on my bio page. And if you scroll down, it's like my digital portfolio in there. And in there, you'll find a couple different builds. We usually hang out out in the DJ den. We're going to go into the Crypto Novo 311. There might be sound in here. I can't remember if I link sound into it or not. So if there is, it's not IM6's sound, so we'll get that in there eventually. But this is another metaverse where you can walk around. You can get in there with your cell phone if you want to, or on your computer. So on this one, you just have to go to OnCyber/Novo 311, and you actually just come in and just join me here. And just to go on a little walk through the art museum of Crypto Novo right here. We got a squiggle floor mats. Over here, we have our mutant ape with a Clone X vial stabbed into its mutant head. Walking down to the little den down here. I wish I could fill that with like a ball pit. That'd be cool. I got my Meebit robot that I minted, and also a canine. That canine actually sold, so that's an old picture. I should probably update it so someone can go in there and buy that. It's not owned by me. It actually says it's owned by me. That'd be pretty cool if I still own that. But the Kennel Club I did sell. I sold after I got my ape coins. Played the market. Got my ape coins, cashed out on the kennels. The Atom Bomb that's out here has a stamp on that. That's a utility stamp. The utility stamp can get me into the Atom Bomb Fest. That's in California. Unfortunately, I'm not going to go to it. On the ceiling, I got some ceiling there. And then I got an Aversano hanging out here on the wall. Twin Flames, and it actually has a 3 and an 11 on the baseball jersey backs here. If you're not familiar with Twin Flames, check it out from Justin Aversano, one of the first to bring photography into the NFT space. This was a custom by Benzi Studios. He's the person who actually made the custom frame behind me. It's a custom frame. That's a black velvet frame around a digital frame, and he actually created an NFT based around that frame that you see behind me. And that NFT has a mask on that. Crypto PJR, that NFT you're looking on there is an actual physical mask placed on a physical model. And what Benzi does is he finds models and actresses that just maybe have lived an alternative lifestyle, maybe an alternative fashions of late night entertainment or video entertainment that are trying to get out of that industry. So he gives them outlets. He gives them outlets of where they can possibly be models and not that type of a way to make a name for themselves and to monetize that. So there's a mask. There's a masky mask right there, and he's trying to just help people who are trying to get away from different industries and turning them into NFTs. There's a G Money one of it. And there was, I think Masky's mask was in a couple of them, his physical masks that are there.
Masky's a great new artist, and that's really cool. I really like that.
Masky does a lot of our POAPs, and he's just one of those key players in Novoverse that doesn't ask for much, doesn't get paid jack squat, but is a true member. So if you ever see Masky, always give him away one of those NFTs.
Good.
We're floating back over here into the bedroom. You're looking up. Let's see, get a better angle. My World of Women right
That's
there.
sick.
So just hanging out. If you need to take and then you're gonna go back. I don't think there's anything back in the washroom. Whoa! I'm looking in the mirror. What do you know?
Nice.
But you can. Oh, here's actually something I want to bring up to you. Out here, Dr. Doge, calling Dr. Doge.
I'm here. Yes.
One thing I was thinking of, live business meeting right now, I am 6. I hope you're listening as well. You don't need to tune in, but just listen. Is for the Voids soundtrack or song that we had premiered last couple of days. I guess I premiered it like 5 times. Is let's hook up some of these Jadu jetpacks in here. And if you look at the window, I got my Meebit pig with that Jadu jetpack.
Yeah.
And we can do the hoverboard. So now we can do the Voids hoverboard, Jadu jetpack, like intro theme music, because that's all in the family for sure. Man, that'd be, and maybe
hell yeah.
talk to Jadu. That's probably too much. I was saying maybe we talk to Jadu. They are linked in. I'm trying to change rooms here. I think I got some between. they're linked in with Elton John. They did an Elton John
Yeah.
fundraiser. So I don't know.
Awards,
Maybe
yep.
we can take a beat out of the background of that. But I just wanted to show off on Cyber. We have on Cyber here in Centraland. So I will take another picture of that because why not? Because we can. I'll check with my Meebit thing in there because we can here. Next up on the venue here. Any conspiracy theories out there from the Doge? Usually Galactic comes on this week and talks conspiracy theories in any capacity, if it's the UFO world, if it's whatever. And Crypto PJR has also been, Disney Hollywood Studios. I've actually been to that same walkthrough. And Crypto PJR is actually, he is very in tune with this information as well. So anyone has any conspiracies, any theories, any conspiracy theories, I love it.
Yes, I'd like to. I don't know if anyone has heard of the topic of not only UAPs but underwater phenomenon that's going on. Vehicles going 10, 20,000 miles per hour, even faster than that, 50,000. All this, whether it be extraterrestrials, interdimensional species, or us or humans from the future, for that matter, there's something going on. And people need to wake up and realize, and we need to deal with this. At the very least, there's free energy being used that's being kept from the public that could help the world, and it's in all seriousness a crime against humanity if this technology is kept by governments of this planet and not released. I mean, think of the energy. This thing could help everybody in this world. And it's a darn shame, I tell you. It's a darn shame.
Well, isn't there some reports from the area around Area 51, and you could probably name the scientists. I can't because, I'm just a mere crypto punk here to your supreme alien intelligence. But, a lot of the technology that they have found from these, people say alleged, but I don't say alleged, these crashes, we're waiting for our technology to catch up with it so we can actually use it, test it to see if we can actually control it, to see if we can actually use it. Is there any truth behind some of this, Crypto PJR?
Yes, actually, recently there is a segment that believes some of these crashes were planted here over the ages for us to discover. Also, on that note, because obviously these have been found, there's a reference by one person who worked at Area 51 saying that they had found an ancient one in an iceberg, just like in the movies. So these things, they've been around for a while, and I just think we need to be aware of it and recognize it. And that's one of the theories, is that they have these things and it is catching up to us.
And you're seeing a lot more and more with documents being unclassified, and it's almost with that, and you're saying like it's a resurgence of monetization behind the research that is done to find out about these things. There's an interest to it. Before it was kind of, people were looked at as like crazy back in the 80s or 90s if you talked about it, but now there is open dialect, open conversation, and it's accepted. It's exciting, but not only that, it's actually creating comrades, and it's creating. Area 51 Roswell probably would be nothing if it wasn't for that base being there and the stories based around it. But it's still creating a community there, if you like it or not, one way or another.
It's very true. Just be careful for disinformation in the upcoming years. Yes, this has been a hot button issue and things are getting down to it, but there's already a campaign to make the truth look lunatic by pointing out the obvious and saying, "Oh, that's fake." There's always going to be people saying, "Yeah, that's fake." So what you see and what you hear in the upcoming years, make sure, trust but verify, as one of the American politicians said at one time. You have to really understand that there are going to be hoaxes out there. But bottom line, something is happening and has been happening. It didn't start in 47. I'll tell you that, my friend.
Anything to add from anyone else in Discord here?
If anybody gets a hold of this technology, please get in touch with me. I would like to set some Bitcoin miners.
Saw through it.
Absolutely.
We have the Hash Wizard listening in on Spaces. Thank you for listening in. He is a Web 4.20 scientist, not a Web 3.0, but a Web 4.20 scientist. Loving the discussion. Thank you for the purple hearts. Thank you for the claps, because I enjoy talking about this stuff with my friends. A lot of this is the live business meeting. And like, if I ever had the chance to meet Crypto PJR, we'd probably have the same conversation. So it is cool to do this intergalactically from home base down here in the Chicagoland area to wherever the frick he's flying around. And I don't even know if he uses
Alpha Centauri, probably somewhere, some black hole. I was kind of cutting in and out like throughout that, but yeah, like no, yeah, I agree with everything that you just said there. Like there's too much to the unknowns that people, they're trying to hide, they're trying to get this. Think about this. Like you were talking about the speed of this earlier, right? Now, it's not whatever. I won't go throwing names and, because it is whatever. But, one of our not so good allies has actually developed an actual, what people of this day would consider an actual, like, if you saw this going through and flying and seeing this, you would think it was an actual UAP, right? They actually have a new torpedo, whatever missile that is capable of flying, right, close to that speed through the air and then simultaneously launching into the ocean and going for another fucking 15 to 20 miles under the water. And it creates a literal hyper chamber, like a bubble around it, right? So it can go up to like almost 200 knots under the water.
So it goes so
Yeah.
fast it actually probably moves the water around
It does.
Almost
Yeah,
like
it
a
creates
South Force
with
field.
the type of explosive stuff that it uses, the fuelant that it uses. It actually has enough speed that it burns in water and oxygen.
Well,
So
what if the fuel it uses is actually the water itself? So you don't even need self-sufficient as long as you have.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah, and we're getting to that stage, right? So you can't deny, man. We're not the only ones out there. You look at that. We're just now finding stuff. It would take us billions, right? Yeah.
Mathematically speaking, of how large the galaxy is, unless it is like Men in Black. Please don't scan me. I know. Keep the scanner away. Keep that in your pocket. Unless it is Men in Black and we are like living in a marble or something, like, yeah, there is more than meets the eye.
Yep.
And or here's another thing, and we did bring this up last week. This could all be a simulation. We could all be living in a simulation.
Very true.
Either way, the ebbs and flows.
No,
don't do it. Don't do it. See, he already forgot what the hell he's doing. He just zapped himself. For the people who are listening and not watching, you can watch live on the top of the stream. We just had Dr. Doge. That's Dr. Doge. .eth. Just Men in Black flash himself, so he does not remember what just happened to himself. We were going to go into any other questions or thoughts on conspiracy theories. I love this part of this show, by the way, my friends. Any other thoughts on conspiracy theories, or anyone want to bring in a new conspiracy theory?
Well,
Yeah, I developed a conspiracy theory that the merge is actually the split.
So what do you think?
Changed my mind.
So it's a split. You think this is going to be like there's going to be Ethereum Classic, Ultra Classic, or Ethereum OG? Like, what do you think?
Well, there's already certain exchanges, and I can't remember exactly which ones, but I know that I was reading an entire thread yesterday, put out by a gentleman on Twitter, and he was talking about how certain exchanges are already running futures on Ethereum W, which will be the longest chain at that point, which will be the proof of work chain. And I've also seen a couple of posts from certain miners who plan to continue to mine the proof of work chain, and they're actually talking about doing an update to the coding so that it can be identified separately while on exchanges, and some of the centralized exchanges will be able to run ETH-W as well as ETH 2.0.
Nice.
Well, because think of how
Cool.
much it's still going to be left over there in the back of that, and then with that, if people are still going to make transactions, those exchanges make money off microtransactions. So as long as it's alive,
Exactly.
as long as it's alive and they can monetize it, they're going to keep it alive, and it's slowly
Exactly.
and it's either going to slowly peter
And
itself off, or it's
that's kind of basically what the miners are saying right now. It's like if we just don't go away, then it'll continue to be used. And Mayor and I actually spoke about this last week. It may end up becoming like the black market Ethereum, basically, like where cypherpunks and some of the OG degens choose to use it over the proof of stake chain.
Well, you know what the first DAO was? The first DAO was Ethereum Classic, because Ethereum had a recode or whatever. I don't know the technical terminology of it, so I'm not going to pretend like I do. They had a recode early back in the day, and people are like, well, no, we want to still use this. And then all of a sudden Ethereum Classic was there, and that was essentially a DAO because people voted to do that. And that's where DAOs kind of came in, as far as being a spin-off at the time to a cryptocurrency.
Well, and ultimately, in the world we live in, people like us, we expect crypto eventually to be accepted as crypto, where we don't have to change it out for cash. So ultimately, if goods become accepted for crypto, all you would have to do is create a market where that particular ETH-W is accepted for goods. And at that point, it wouldn't matter what the cash value was anyway.
You're right, because it's good for services, and that's what really interests me about this NFT space. Is right now someone can come in, and if they don't have a Mustang Bumblebee yellow Mustang GT to park right in the middle of Disney, or a Dodge, I'm sorry, is that a Charger? Charger. Sorry, I just zoomed in on it. So you got the Charger, pull in. Like, it can be something where you can pull in the Batmobile and trade the digital Batmobile for someone's Fortnite skin, because they want to have that in there. And now you are trading goods and services for that. And I remember back in the day when I was telling people like, oh, I was getting in Bitcoin, like, well, what is Bitcoin? I'm like, well, it's kind of like what the coders use just to get paid instantly, rather than having to deal with waiting or having transactions being depleted through percentages that are going to wherever, and if you don't pay your taxes, shame on you. I'm not saying that, but I'm saying the transaction fees that are put in credit cards is really what's making the change for people. They don't want to pay those 2 or 3% transactions, or the banking fees for transferring $1 million because you did $1 million worth of work for someone in a digital space.
Well, not even to mention, I mean, you got to think too. Prime example, real quick. This past weekend, I made a couple payments on Friday. Okay, they didn't clear my bank account till Tuesday.
Yep.
Damn, bro. Fuck.
Yeah. Which I mean,
fight on that.
It didn't affect anything. But what I'm getting at is for people that really are interested in being on top of their money and managing things properly, it's kind of a mind fuck when you don't have a balance update itself for almost 4 days.
It's absurd. It's absurd this day and age that's
it really is.
Well, just like anything else, you get less, you're paying more for less. And then like all of a sudden it's like, oh, it's 2 to 3 business days. And then it's gonna be like, oh, we only work 4 business days a week.
Or there's a holiday.
Yes.
Banks aren't open on any holidays, but so something I want to pick your brain, Novo, because something I've thought about with the merge is I think it's going to be interesting to see what happens with these NFTs, because you're going to have a duplication of the NFT tokens. And if you look back at some of these, I mean, everybody that knows me knows I'm really big on historical NFTs. So we've seen a lot of like the rare Pepes and stuff in these emblem vault collections where if you don't know about Rare Pepe's or some of these projects that were launched on Counterparty, which was a side chain for Bitcoin, like they're worth a lot of money because they're OG and they're on this old chain, and then they're vaulted and ported over to Ethereum and traded on OpenSea, but they actually live on a different chain. What's going to happen when,
Is that
especially
same as
like
some of these? Is that the same as some of the like Namecoin domains and stuff like that?
yeah, Namecoin and puny codes and stuff like that, that's on these old wallets, old chains. They're worth a lot because they're old and they're on these old, like essentially defunct side chains kind of. So like with the crypto punks, like, you know, like those have been upgraded through like wrappers. I think they're on like the second version of like the wrapper for the punk. So what's going to happen when we move, you know, say 4 years from now, and people look back and it's going to be like, oh, these
Yeah.
NFTs were like, are they going to like vault like the proof of work tokens, or are you going to make a mistake by selling, like say you own a Bored Ape and you know Yuga is only going to recognize the proof of stake Bored Ape. So, oh, I'm going to sell this other one off because it's still fetching like $10,000. You sell off the proof of work, and then like, who knows, 10 years down the road, like those appreciate because they're more OG. Like, who knows, you know?
Yep. Hold on 1 second. I pushed the wrong button, and I am actually not showing the screen now because I exprinted it. Whatever. I have to log back into Discord. I'll be back in 1 second, and I do have a thought on that. Let's see. I got it.
While you're doing that,
This. Go for it. This. Aha.
Doge is sliding on.
Good.
Oh,
All
he's
right.
sliding
So
on Doge.
my thought on that was, I got to turn that on. Awesome. Am I back? You guys got me?
yeah.
So my thought on that is
Wait.
like, I kind of go back to like version 1 of the CryptoPunks. People that aren't familiar with version 1 of the CryptoPunks is essentially what happened with CryptoPunks back in the day is they wrote the original line of code. And there again, don't quote me on any of this. This is how I cliff note things. And what they did back in the day was they found an error somewhere in the CryptoPunks. So, or there's something
It
happened.
was a
where,
bug.
yeah.
It was a bug where if you sold the NFT, the buyer could get his Ethereum back from you
Yes,
if you
that's what it
held
was.
it.
So
And then
it
they
was like-
patched it.
And
Yeah.
they patched it. So then when they patched it, there was an old code, V1, which just kind of was like hidden, but it was still on chain if you figured out how to, you know, just mint from chain. So whatever, probably two years passed, people were finding out how to mint it. But like, I was kind of against it because I just was selfishly wanted to make sure that the value of my style of CryptoPunks kept their value, and I didn't want to be undercut by a rookie card that came out before the rookie cards. So like,
Yeah.
I think all of this is still going to be saved on chain. I think it's going to be a second layer, and it's going to be one of those things for, like you're saying, historical reference for back in the day. So like, you might sell the, you know, the second version of it now, or when it comes up next week or 72 hours or whatever, you might still own that original version that everyone's going to be diving into in the future, like super back in the day. So like, it's still going to live there somewhere, and it's all depending on where the community drives that value. That's all it is case stake community value, and where that monetization lives. Because if version 1 punks were worth more than version 2, like one, I would probably flip over there too, because I just want the same thing, just where everyone else is, because I just like the community.
And then like, yeah, like if you know, for me, I would want to hold on to both. But you know, some people are going to be like, whatever, I'm just going to sell off the air. It's basically like a retroactive airdrop almost. Like I'm going to sell off the proof of work, because especially for collections like Yuga, where it's like Yuga bought punks, so like they're going to recognize, I think they're going to bring in the punks into the other side and stuff like that down the road. So they're going to recognize the proof of stake version. So then you're going to see like hardcore collectors like, give me the proof of work token, and they'll pay a premium for it. And then there's going to be people that are like, okay, And then you're going to have collectors that are like, you know, hey, I want to work with you on this, this whatever it is, a punk or an ape, and they're going to be like, I know you got the proof of work, I want that one too. So like guys that are trying to like collect both, it's going to be really interesting. And then I think eventually, like, I don't even think it'll take very long where they'll like port it over to the proof of stake chain, like they have the emblem vault stuff, and you'll be getting like proof of work versions traded on proof of stake essentially.
It's going to do two things. It's going to create a lot more supply in two different venues. So it can reset the ecosystem in the sense where like some people are just not going to want to touch old stuff that's not relevant anymore. But then it's also going to create, I think it's going to create value in the future of what the old school stuff is. Because everyone, eventually someone wants the old school stuff because the new stuff's not cool anymore, you know?
What do you guys know? What do you guys know about most collector markets? Most collector markets value history and they value rarity. And what comes along with that is originality. And you're looking at, well, first off, we're seeing this merge create, you know, two separate parties, like you just said, Novo. You're going to see these people that, you know, in the future aren't even realizing, first off, that they're transacting crypto because it's normal. And the apps have been made in the future to where people don't even have to do any connecting to a site, signing of a transaction. They're just going to, it's going to be just like going into a store nowadays. You put the cash down, you get the good, you know, and it'll be honestly, the same thing later on.
Just like you're saying, it'll be a platform where it's going to be version 1 CryptoPunk, version 2 CryptoPunk, old chain, version 3 CryptoPunk, current change, version 4, 5, and 6, because it's still it's always gonna evolve. You know, there's gonna be something that's gonna evolve. Like this current merge not even gonna touch anything with gas. So like that could be the next implementation. So now how did it look for gas transactions? All right, well then is it cooler that you spent $150 doing gas transactions back in the day compared to like paying pennies on the dollar for gas transactions in the future? Like that might have historical reference to it.
Yeah. I just want to share something with the viewers because I think this is like what we're talking about right now. None of us knows what's going to happen, but it is a huge, monumental opportunity in the space. So watch it. You know, if you're going to speculate, that's on you, but watch it because the biggest opportunities that I've personally experienced were just like this. Like I can just feel it in my bones, man. Like when you're talking about the V1 punks, those weren't even like known about. When did those pop off? Like 6 months ago or something? Like probably around the beginning of the year.
Yeah, I think it was
right?
Not too long ago. Yeah.
So okay, this is my personal story. This is like monumental.
Let's go.
I'm sitting on a Twitter Spaces, and I think it was my man Adam McBride. Is that his name?
Yes, the archaeologist. Yes, dude.
Right? Yep. Adam McBride.
That was right after we interviewed him.
Yeah, and he's down with all the OG collections, the Curio cards, Mooncats, everybody. And they're in a Twitter Spaces, and like my computer's off. I'm sitting in the lazy boy. I got the phone on, and I'm just like I'm like half asleep. And this guy pops in, and he's like, "Hey Adam," he's like, "What about these V1 punks? Have you heard about the V1 punks?" And he's like, "What?" And he didn't even know about them. And he's like, "Yeah, like the original contract for the punks was like 2 weeks. It preceded like the legit collection by like 2 weeks, and then they just like updated the wrapper, blah 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 blah." And like my eyes opened up, and I was like, "What the hell is this guy talking about?" And he was like, "Yeah, I really want to get one." And Adam's like, "I don't know, man." He's like, "That sounds pretty risky." He's like, "You could lose all your money. Like you could buy like a fake collection or something." He's like, and the guy's like, "No, I got to get one." And I was like, "Oh shit." Daniel Got Hits was on there too. And like nobody knew about him. I jumped up out of my chair. I turned on the computer. I went on to OpenSea. I went on to LooksRare. There was 2 different collections trading because I had the OG wrapper. So understand like what a wrapper is. It's just like an upgrade to the contract. So everything's a smart contract. So the original version of the V1 Punk was buggy. So they created a wrapper to patch the bug. And then there was a newer wrapper that was released in 2022. So you had to wrap that. So I jump on LooksRare. They're going for like 3 Ethereum. I just YOLO the ETH. I didn't even have the ETH. I had to go like pull it out of like tax money. I YOLO the ETH. I get the V1 Punk. I'm stoked. I go over to OpenSea. So then they start running like the next week. They just take off. Like they're at like 10 Ethereum. Then they're at 15 Ethereum. I'm freaking out. I'm like, all right, man. I'm like ready to unload this thing. They go to 20 ETH. They go to 27 ETH. I'm like, all right, man, I've been in 2 weeks. I'm like, I got to take profit. Like, I got to just let it go. Like, they're pumping. I go to OpenSea and I can't list it. And I'm like, oh shit. Like, what the hell happened? I'm like, I see the collection, but I can't list it. I'm like, did I get scammed? Like, did I buy like a fake version? So I go to the Discord. Guy's like, no. You got the OG wrapper. He's like, you need to like unwrap it and put it in the new wrapper. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm like directly screwing with the contract. Word of wisdom: do not do this. If you're not like a dev or you're not familiar with it, don't interface with the contract directly if you don't know what you're doing. I didn't know what I was doing. I start interfacing with the contract. I'm punching stuff in. Boop boop. I go to Etherscan. I see the token went out of my address.
Oh god.
So like a burn address, and I'm like, oh. Fuck. I'm like, I go back to the Discord. I'm like, I think I just rugged myself. They're like, no, you're good. You still got it. So when I unwrapped it, I don't know, like the wrapper left, I guess. I think.
So couldn't recognize
I don't even know. But then I went to the new website. They had launched the new wrapper, and I was able to rewrap it. And I thought I rugged myself, but yeah. So a lot of lessons learned on that experience, but 2 weeks, I came up on like 20 Ethereum, and it was from sitting in a spaces, listening to somebody else, drop the alpha. And I was just like, oh man, like this is a big opportunity.
I got my Franelation. Same thing, Franelation, like late one night. He's like, yo, you better get yours. And I'm like, V1 Punk's like, what is this? I'm like, this is garbage. And I was kind of like, I honestly, I was kind of angry about it. I'm like, no, I have a V1 Punk. Like, what are you talking about? I was all bitter about it. I'm like, I'm not touching that. And then I looked into it. I'm like, I have to do what? I'm like, all right, maybe I'll just buy it just to have it as a security. I'm like,
right?
What?
Yeah,
I have to do this and this. And I'm like, I'm not doing that. Like, I'm not. I'll end up losing it. But there are actually projects out before CryptoPunks. What was it? Crypto Skulls? That predated CryptoPunks, right?
Curio cards.
Etheria. Yes,
Etheria, I think, was the first.
Crazy thing is, when I first started streaming, I reached out to the owner, creator, founder of that. And I'm like, yo, you're like the first metaverse. Like, let's talk. He's like, yeah, cool. And then then he's like, yo, people found out who I am. And like, he got like super busy or super famous or whatever. And then like totally like radio silence. And I like reached out to him like again. He's like, yeah, sorry. I try to not, I don't know if like he just doesn't want like the limelight, but like a lot of people like want to ask him questions about making the first metaverse,
Yeah. A lot of just from people I've talked to, they've had bad experiences talking to that guy, but he did do some historical shit.
Yeah.
And it is like, and I remember watching that project because I was in Curio Cards and they were ripping, and then Etheria caught fire. And I was looking at them when they were like 4 Ethereum, and I was like, I should get one. Like they're so OG. And then they just went to like 20 Ethereum, and I was like, no.
Here's a huge tease, and I will never release it because I was told not to. But there's something that predates all of that, and that will be coming to the forefront in a large
Ethereum.
I'm not gonna say nothing about nothing to no one or nothing, but it is
Come
out
on,
there.
man.
Oh my
Give us some
God.
And then
outsider
Honestly,
trading, dog.
Because there's a
no.
bunch of stuff that predates Ethereum NFTs,
yeah,
like
well,
puny codes.
man, someone told me a date. Someone told me a date which they shouldn't have, and I looked into it, and I saw what they're
Oh,
doing.
man.
And I'm not touching
Look,
it. I'm not touching it with a 1,000,000-foot pole because I want them to do the thing. And
I hear
that's
you.
that,
I
you
hear
know?
you.
And I told him that I go, yeah, you probably never want to tell anyone that date. And he's like,
Don't
oh,
do it.
I even have it down to the time too. I'm like, I don't want to know the time. And then next thing I know, I'm sitting there digging around. I'm like,
Mhm.
yeah, your
Yep.
facts check out. Like you're not blowing smoke, and he has a team around it, and it's whatever. I'll stop talking.
Is this
Hey,
a
that might
person
be
that created said project, or this is somebody that discovered something?
Discovery, yeah.
Oh wow.
Wasn't the person? It
Damn.
definitely wasn't the person that created it.
Okay. Very interesting, man.
Dr.
Always cool
Doge,
shit going down.
we're gonna pawn
Yes,
because you're
sir,
building
yes.
right there. Let's. Can you just drop a MetaView billboard in there? Is that possible?
Yeah, I got you, bro. Here, look. Matter of fact, what I'll
look at
do
that.
is this.
So this is
I'll
for-
make it even better. I'll
this-
show you me pulling it in real quick.
This is for
So
this is for Nato and
me-
Daddy Phil. They usually come on and talk about different Decentraland builds. We go on a Decentraland tour where we look at MetaView billboards, and they're in Georgia, and not like the Georgia in the states of the U.S., like the country Georgia. So like they wake up the roosters when they come on our live show. So it's like
yeah.
4 or 5 in the morning there, and just like us, they got 9 to 5 jobs. So this is like their side hustle. But we'll give them some love here. We're gonna pull up a MetaView
Yes,
billboard.
indeed.
And so what he's got his folder right here with his different
MetaView quadruples right here,
Oh, the
right? And what I
quadruple.
would do here, I would just click it and bring in the actual. You'd see here the folder, and I'll go to here. You get a better view. And all I would do
the
here,
MetaView.
there we go. There we go. Nice. So I would bring it in, 3D model, bring this in, scaled, advanced settings. I would just kind of come in, make sure it's there, make dual-sided, spawn material orbs, and just like that, within the a matter of seconds, you can have a fully scalable
MetaView billboard in VR right now.
VR. Let me fly up to it real quick so y'all can
Gangster.
kind of see this here and get a good. And like I said, I scaled it. I'll do a little bit more. I gotta add some lighting and stuff like that. But yeah,
Right
that's
outside,
leasing-
scroll
are they
back, so it's
leasing-
right outside Disneyland right there, Hollywood Studios.
right outside Disneyland. Like, here, hold on, let me get this. Matter of fact, hold on, wait a minute. Matter of fact, you know what we can do to make it even better? We just do this.
I'm actually screen recording this. I'm gonna try to put this in a tweet.
And I'll leave it here and I'll get a good little pics and stuff too as well. So now you actually have, and yeah, you know what? To make this even smoother, we'll just bring this out right here. Go to my cameras, bam. Inventory, cameras.
Live action. We're pulling
Guide
stuff
drone.
right in here. We're pulling in MetaView billboards in VR. You got to check out what we're doing here in the DGen Den. It's VR. We're with voids. We got AR filters. It's full of fun stuff. You can always watch it in Decentraland 2369 at the Novoverse. And there it is, MetaView. Love it.
I'm in
MetaView's
the
built.
camera drone. Let's go. That's me down there, but it's not me down there because I'm actually over here somewhere. Oh well. Yeah, there we go. Look at this. MetaView on the Disney Hollywood Studios. Coming to you live from Metaverse. Turn the speed up on the drone just a bit. There we go.
Woo.
I'll get a good little recording of this too and send it to you, Crypto.
Love it, man.
Like
Tag
for
those
some
guys.
stuff,
Let's pull it in there. With that, we can start pulling this stuff into Trevor. Maybe start pulling analytics in there because then now people that are using VR, we can start getting those analytics. So let's get you linked in with there. There's our live business meeting right there. We're going to pinch it down because I actually want to look at some things I was looking at earlier today. And I want to look into this Decentraland grants and see what we can maybe look in for that. We also have the On Cyber. If you want to hop into On Cyber, that's On Cyber /Crypto Novo 311, just like the bank. Maskey, thank you for listening and making all those wonderful things that you're doing in the space. Yeah, Alex is so dope. You know, I'm most tired coming. I was a little tired coming into today's stream, but I just got fired up by the music that I Am 6 had for our theme song, and then also just probably got to buy better speakers because I just want to thump that for my music. Make sure you're following Mr. Dingia down there. He's listening on Spaces. We do have a request from Hash Wizard, so we'll get Hash Wizard come on up here to do some speaking. Thanks for following. Remember, Hash Wizard is the Web 4.0 guru in the space, and we're connecting him in. Ask a question there, Hash Wizard. What's going on, my friend? Your speaker's on. You got a question or a comment for the friends, aliens, apes, and zombies listening out here? All right. Well, he was listening the whole time, throwing us all hearts and love out there in our stream. So down there following us, we're all going to follow us together. We'll be back on it again. Let's see what I have up here. Monster Monday next Monday, and then we'll be back here again on Welcoming Wednesday as well. And without further ado, little outro music here by I Am 6. If you want to have yourself an intro or an outro music or some theme music, or you got a cool NFT that you want to have some tunes to, man, hit them up because it's some awesome stuff. So we are in the Novoverse. We're going to get out of here now. Thank you, my friends, again. Appreciate it.
Later, homies.
We are in the Novoverse. Novoverse. We are in the Novoverse. Novoverse. We in the Novoverse. We in the Novoverse. We in the Novoverse. In the Novoverse. It's lit in the Novoverse. In the Novoverse. NFTs in the Novoverse. The Novoverse. We are in the Novoverse. Novoverse. We are in the Novoverse. Novoverse.
Love it. I just want to tell everyone out there to stay positive and love life. Tomorrow's Thursday. One more day closer to the weekend.
Let's go.
Thanks, 6. I love that.